No cannons. Welcome in the DNVR Avalanche pregame show live from the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. We got Bailey, we got Rudo coming to you live. The Avs taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets for Game 5 of the season, at least for the Avs. Expectations are that it's the same lineup as last game. Obviously, there's a little bit of mix and flow on the D side of things, but a maintenance day for Landeskog yesterday, not meaningful. He was out for morning skate and will play tonight, Bailey.
If you can get Landeskog all the rest he needs, okay, great. Yep. I mean, we talk all the time about his, situation coming back into the lineup, and if managing minutes is what you have to do to keep him as fresh as he needs to be, fine. Fine by me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do what you got to do on that front. I do want to talk some about the forwards, but let's start with the defense. That's the first thing that I really want to jump into here, mostly because, look, Cale Makar is one of one. He's not a guy that you're going to replicate on any team, but if you were going to throw someone in the ballpark, Zach Werenski might be that guy for Columbus.
For a guy who showed up in the finalist talks and kind of came out of nowhere in regards to finalist talks for the Norris Trophy, I mean, this is about as good of a matchup as it's going to get for a good portion of the season. I think Columbus needs all the push they can get, and Zach Werenski seems to give that, though Cale Makar has been kind of shining on this roster as of recently.
Last game was pretty good.
Yeah, lots of minutes though, which I didn't love. But as far as matchups go, I mean, it's seeing some of the best on best in regards to defense go head to head. It doesn't get much better than that.
I want to get back to Makar's minutes in a second, but before we do that, with Werenski, are the Avs built to play quality defense against a high-end defender? Their top line, not that it isn't unbelievable, not that it isn't playing great offense, they're not going to shine on the defensive side of the puck all that much. Yes, you have these other lines, but Werenski is going to play a significant number of minutes. Can the Avs survive this game against Werenski?
I don't see why not, especially with the way the first line's been kind of coming to life. You see MacKinnon and Necas leading the league in points currently. You see the third line absolutely shining. The only line, again, I'd like to see come alive, and that's in any situation, not necessarily against a guy like Zach Werenski, is that second line. You want solid production from top to bottom.
Best defense is a good offense, maybe, in that regard.
Not that the Avs are struggling on the other side of it
they
either.
Are not.
But I think if you can put up the points across all four lines, that's the best way to get around this team. A team who's proven to be a very good 5-on-5 team, a proven team defensively with a guy like Zach Werenski.
The Avs have given up just one goal a game outside of that Dallas game. Obviously, you can't just discount that. They gave up 4 and then a fake shootout goal that has to go on the scoreboard. But that's 7 goals against in 4 games, even if you include the entire Dallas game. Less than 2 goals a game against. A lot of that credit goes to Scott Wedgwood, but how easy is the Avs defense making his job?
Oh, it's astronomical. It's astronomical. I've got a saying that I kind of like to hold on to. Your goaltender is only as good as the defense in front of you. Now, obviously, there are exceptions to this rule in the league, but I think in this case, you see a lot of confidence around the lineup as a whole. If you've got a team putting on a great performance in front of you, that's going to fire you up to play a better game in the crease, and vice versa. Your defense is going to play off of the saves that you're making. Your offense is going to push a little bit more. You get a little bit more of an energy boost from that. And there's something to be said about that energy as well. But with all of that said, all the credit in the world to Scott Wedgwood and the performance he's been putting on lately. I think when you look at anomalies, Utah was definitely the outlier among the games so far that have been played.
Yeah.
He's holding his own. There is nothing to shy away from there, that he's been exactly what this Avalanche team is needed, even when they're not getting certain parts of their lineup going.
A good point in the Toyota chat from Shane there, saying they had no problems against Darlene with Buffalo. So maybe you don't have to be too worried about the opposing D. To be fair, I feel like Buffalo's its own little...
They've got their own problems. Yeah. Darlene's the maybe shining point there. And even then, it's like...
Bit of a different... Although they did drop 8 the other night, so let a little
they
steam
needed
off.
That to start off the season. Oh, my God.
You kind of mentioned it. Cale Makar played 25 minutes the other night. Obviously, his TOI is on the more outrageous side because of the overtime in Dallas. There's some factors contributing there. But the reality of no Sam Girard, at least in my eyes, means respite is not coming anytime soon for Cale Makar on the minutes front.
Which sucks, because you get a guy like Brent Burns to eat some of those minutes too. And for a guy who you're expecting to have, he had a career season last season, you're expecting him to do something similar this season. Not only does he have to kind of keep himself ready for the Olympics and a potentially deep playoff run this upcoming, I mean,
hopefully
that's always the goal, is to get down that long stretch at the end of the season. And he's already putting up 25 minutes in a game. Like, that's not ideal in my eyes.
You play what? Probably like 8 to 10 games at the Olympics. You're hoping if they go on a deep run, you're looking at 110, 115 games for Cale Makar this year.
25 minutes a night for a guy looking to make that kind of run, in my opinion, is just not sustainable.
Yeah.
And again, I bring up Brent Burns again, because this is a guy you went out and got on a very team-friendly deal for what he's done throughout his career, looking to eat special teams minutes, take some of that pressure off of Cale Makar, and I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me personally.
Yeah. Incredibly, given his career, I think he could manage 25 minutes somehow.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question of can he do it?
Sure. But
it's a should.
Yeah, and you even see the other night, Brent Burns is sliding in on the power play 1 for part of it because Makar knows how to manage his time. But it's just a line you don't want to flirt with too much. If that gets up to 26, 27 minutes a night.
That's where you start getting into whoa kind of territory. Pump the brakes here a little bit.
It just shouldn't be necessary. And you might have to live with some of, I'm going to play Solovyov, and I don't know what I'm going to get out of him in this situation. But
it comes down to trust in your blue line. And yes, you have, I'm going to go ahead and say it, the best defenseman in the NHL on your roster.
Pretty cleanly, I would say, yeah.
Yes, you want him to play a lot of minutes because he's proven he can be that good.
Yep.
But there's a reason you have 3 pairs. There's no reason a guy should be going higher than 25 minutes if you've got a defense you can trust. Now, then that becomes the question, is how much does Jared Bednar trust his defense?
I don't know that he trusts Werenski and Solovyov very much right now, to be honest with you. At least on the left side with Werenski.
Is also fair, because there's a small sample size from especially Solovyov. But with Werenski kind of pinballing around his roles and positions, that's a fair question to ask. Again, though, you went out and kind of changed around personnel for special teams. You've got a personnel you can trust to coach these guys in the right way to play a solid defensive game. How is that being put into action if Cale Makar is playing almost half a game at that point?
There's only so many minutes in hockey.
Yeah. So that's my.
You mentioned special teams. I want to move into that and how the Avs can win this game, because most nights you go into it, and if your team plays better at 5-on-5, they're going to be expected to win. But when you look against this Columbus squad specifically, They've started the year with the worst penalty kill in the league. They've given up 7 power play goals in 3 games, operating at a 50% rate. That is very bad. For an Avs power play that I think you and I have thought looked pretty good, but maybe hasn't scored at the rate you were hoping for, it really feels like tonight is an opportunity there.
It's absolutely an opportunity. If there's ever a game where you're looking for special teams to be a key, it's a game like this one where a team is performing that poorly on their penalty kill. Nathan MacKinnon, I think, had a great quote the other night. They've gotten great chances. They've gotten the looks. They've got the movement down pat. They look dangerous. Their chances just aren't going in. And I think if there's any team they can try to, get over that last hump against, ideally on paper it should be Columbus.
You would hope so. I wouldn't mind it from either unit for the record either. I'd take it either way, but Columbus particularly has been bad. And it's important because they've been, I'm not going to say good at 5-on-5, but their goaltending has been unbelievably good at 5-on-5. It's something like a 98% save percentage at 5-on-5 so far this year, which is a little bit of small sample size fun with numbers. But those power play opportunities are going to be even more important than normal. And there should be plenty of them. The Avs are in the top 5 in the league in drawing penalties so far this year. They've drawn a ton of them.
Yeah, and if you can get a team like this to make those kinds of mistakes 5-on-5, there should be no reason that the Avalanche can't capitalize on situations like that.
Yep.
Again, they've proven not only does their power play look great, their PK looks incredible this season so far as well. So there's no reason that some sort of conversion should not be able to happen when they're not at even strength.
So where do we rank Columbus this year? They went into the game on Monday, and it's Buffalo, right? There's an expectation that the Avs should beat a team like that. Mm-hmm. How does Columbus fall on that chart? Most nights the Avs are going to be the favorite, but should this be a competitive game, or is this a team that the Avs should handle?
I think you can make an argument for both. Columbus, for me, is kind of one of those wild card kind of teams.
I would agree.
Almost quite literally, too, with the push that they started to make, especially towards the end of the season. This is a team that was kind of riddled with injury. The Avalanche, I think, know all about that.
Yes.
But they were kind of making that last push. They had a lot of, energy for obvious reasons. And I think this is almost kind of like a revenge season for them in a way. They haven't shown it very well with the start. I think Merzlikins, if I'm correct, has their only win.
Yeah.
And their start hasn't been great, but the way that I'm kind of viewing it from their eyes is they're going into this season like they lost more than just a wild card spot last season, and they're looking to be better, as every team is. There's I think that extra push coming from them at some point this season. It's a matter of when that kicks in, and you hope it's not against the Avalanche. But again, there's something to be said about their top end talent. Sean Monahan's got a good track record. Zach Werenski, again, making that push for the finalist in the Norris Trophy voting. It's a dangerous team in multiple different aspects, and it's a team I don't think the Avalanche can afford to fall short in any aspect of their game against.
Dean in the Toyota chat saying it's the Gavin Brindley revenge game. That is sort of true. He technically never played a real game for the Blue Jackets.
Not a real one.
It was only in their system. On the other side, though, there is Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood on this hockey team, so maybe the Avs can survive the ex-player curse in this one. They did in Buffalo. Byram and Timmins didn't do much.
No. I'm not expecting a whole lot. And me saying this now, of course, they're going to go out and have the games of their lives. But no, I'm not. I'm expecting the Avalanche to take care of business tonight. With the way that they've looked in the last 2 games, as long as they can keep that consistency up, I'm not looking for Miles Wood or Charlie Coyle to break through any of that.
Yeah,
personally.
I hope they don't. Nothing against them. Both great guys.
Yeah.
I've had enough of ex-player curse stuff for a lifetime. We don't need to do that
right.
ever again.
Yep.
The Avs, of course, are not undefeated, but they are one of very few teams, just them, Carolina, Dallas, Edmonton, and Seattle, with no regulation losses. Can they keep the streak going? Can they at least get 1 point out of this game no matter what?
They've shown through 4 games so far that they've been able to. That should be no issue for them. I think it takes an anomaly type situation and them having just a really strange off day for this to be an easy game for Columbus, a game that the Avalanche can't push back and win. So that, I mean, it's an impressive stat. I think if the Avalanche can hold on to that for as long as they can, it's never a bad thing. It never hurts. Ever.
Apparently, Miles Wood is hurt. Thank you, Toyota Chat. Really holding on to his Avalanche roots with that. So,
Avalanche in spirit, I see.
Move on here. So the new Pokemon game just came out, right?
I heard about this. Yes, I liked Legends Arceus. I will say.
I picked it up. I played some of it last night. In the new game, there are these areas called wild zones. Okay. And with these 2 hockey teams, I think every zone of the ice might be a little bit of a wild zone.
Yeah, with, Columbus, in like talking about these stats here, it's all over the place. Yep. It really is, to me, going to be kind of an unknown type situation that, again, the Avs really have to kind of be very tactical and be on their game. They've proven, again, through the last few that they know how to play. They've looked like a very dangerous team so far. Yes, they're wild zones, and Columbus could come out and surprise us all. But the Avalanche are smart. They've chosen or shown that most of the players, there's a select few who I think could improve in discipline, not to name any names.
Caleb Makar, that bum's got 3 penalties.
Who's that guy? Oh gosh, especially we were looking at stats for last year too. He's already hit
halfway to his penalty
total. That's
4 games
insane.
in. Yeah.
If the Avs can play smart, if the Avs can stay disciplined in these wild zones, hypothetically, there's no reason. Columbus is smart. It's a team you have to look out for. They've got smart players. I hate to keep bringing up Zach Werenski, but this is a guy who knows how to play. He's going to be playing a lot of minutes for the Avalanche. They're going to be deploying him in situations where they're looking for the Avalanche to make mistakes. They can't afford to do that.
And Columbus currently, again, super small sample sizes. You're taking these numbers with a grain of salt, but one of the highest volume shooting teams in the NHL right now, averaging 34 shots a game. You can expect a lot of shots coming your way. Werenski doing a good amount of the driving of that for Columbus. The Avs have done a fairly good job of keeping things to the outside, or at very least limiting high danger opportunities for their opponents. When there's that much volume, can the Avs continue to do that in their own zone, and can they continue to generate those high danger chances the way they have been?
It'll be interesting to see exactly how they do it. They're not going to make it easy on Wedgwood
of course.
Tonight.
It's definitely going to have to do some work.
Yeah, he definitely going to make him work for it. If the Avalanche can continue to play to their outsides, sweep through the neutral zone, I really like the centering chances that they've been creating in the O-zone and how dangerous that's become. If they can keep recreating that, forcing Columbus to kind of move, creating that space, I don't see why that wouldn't be possible. It's all a matter of keeping it out of your own zone at that point.
The Avs, we talked about the TOI on the defensive side, but the forward side, it's actually pretty darn good. Nathan MacKinnon, the only forward over 20 minutes the other night. I think he played 21, which is fine. You have no problems with that. No. But you've seen a good balance of them willing to roll the lines. Gavin Brindley broke the 10-minute mark the other day. Yes, we're going to keep talking about the second line needing to produce offense until it starts coming a little bit more consistently for that line. But are the Avs in the healthiest place they've been as far as actually rolling their lines?
Absolutely. I think as much as they can delay the injury curse, that's always a plus. But being able to deploy 4 lines the way that especially we saw in last game is absolutely a win. Obviously, defensively, Cale Makar is still a big worry of mine personally, but that's just preserving your top-end talent at this point, and that will never, in my opinion, hurt a team ever, especially down the stretch. You're looking at getting more energy out of your top end guys, and you're trusting your low end. I say low end. They've got some pretty decent talent in that bottom six, but in showing that, like that shows a lot of trust in that third line, which Bednar has mentioned multiple times, and allowing Brindley to break that 10-minute mark, I think just speaks volumes in the amount of trust they've gotten a guy like that. If you can preserve that energy down the stretch, it's absolutely a check in the win column for me.
Do you want the Avs to pick their spots a little bit more with the second line? They're on the road, so they don't have last change. There's only so much you can do there in a game like this. But for a line that you want to get going offensively, do you want to see Bednar maybe hunt some opportunities for them? Or are you comfortable saying, hey, we'll just roll the lines, we'll let them out there when they need to go out there, and if defense is their job, that's their job?
If that's the role, then so be it.
Okay.
Until they get some sort of, unless they're in a comfortable position in the game to potentially experiment
you're
with
up 3-0 or something, it's a different story,
like
for
that's
sure.
a different
Yeah.
story. But in still trying to battle for, the score of a game, I think if something's working with your other lines and that's just the role they're resorted to, that's fine by me.
Okay.
Now, if they get rolling, and Nichushkin, I mean, we've talked about it extensively and saying Nichushkin's looked the best out of anybody on that second line. If he ends up getting going and he can create more opportunities for that second line, get them more minutes, absolutely.
I'm
totally fine with that. If that's how that ends up working, if they end up being the defensive line, I'm not mad at that either. Yeah. The first and third lines have proven they can hold things together as much as you'd love more production up and down the lineup. They've proven they can handle the job.
They're 3-0-1. It's not like they're struggling to find wins.
I'm not mad at that at all. Yeah, absolutely.
Columbus, Avs have a lot of connections to this organization, obviously, with Chris McFarland and coming out of that organization and things like that. There was a time where it felt like they've swapped players on the regular. I guess you're not really from Columbus is like the Midwest, right? You'd call that the Midwest. I don't
technically, yeah.
I don't really know anyone from the Midwest. We have people from the Northeast. You're from the Southeast,
technically.
So I don't know. Yeah, Columbus. Just don't think about that city a lot, to be honest.
No.
Not trying to be mean. Like, it's just the part of the country that doesn't come up in Colorado a lot.
I don't do much traveling outside of the state. It's not any part of the country I'm intimately familiar with. I'll put it to you that way.
Same. So
I don't know.
Take that, Ohio. Anyway, let's get into our crystal ball here. Bailey, give me a score and give me a name for a goal scorer on tonight's game.
4-2, Ross Colton.
Like both of those answers. I think if the Avs' third line is rolling, they win this game pretty handily.
Absolutely. Hands down.
I feel like I'm just going to keep picking the breakout dominant game until it happens. So I'm going to go 5-1.
Oh.
I think the offense just pops off. All a goal from every line and a goal from Kale.
Okay.
The whole gamut. Why not? Power play can pop off too. I'm going to go with all of that.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. If I have to actually pick someone, I'll take the cop out and just take Necas again.
I was fine with the charcuterie board for an Avalanche game. That's fine.
There you go. Just throw down on anybody. It's all on the table in this one. We do have a few specific pre-game picks brought to you by Bet365, where, of course, things are never ordinary. I went with a Makar power play point. I really do think tonight is an opportunity for the Avs power play that they need to capitalize on. You don't have to be perfect, but you're going to get a handful of opportunities. Make it count against a team that clearly has been lost on the penalty kill this year. Do that. Still waiting for the first Landy point of the season. You can get plus money on that if you feel like the second line is going to break through. That might be a good way to find a little bit of extra cash. And then Columbus under 2 goals. I said, hey, you know what? Statistically, 75% of Avs games end with their opponent scoring 1 goal. Maybe it'll keep happening. Definitely legitimate facts and logic going into that one. But it is plus 300 if you think the Avs can do it. So that is an opportunity there. And the less cannon shots, the better in a Columbus game.
Yeah.
So
Oh, God, I hate that cannon.
keep the goals low on that front. Of course, when you do gamble with Bet365, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. As we wind down the pregame show here, Bailey, the Avs coaching staff, obviously every day you're working to get better like you've talked about, but does not really feel like they've had a lot to do this season when it comes to significant adjustments.
No, they're working with the talent that they have. And that's, I think, the best thing you can ask for in a situation with the Colorado Avalanche. If you have to, all you have to worry about is the little things, that's, that's a great problem to have. I think. Nitpicking is the best thing you can do as a coach in the National Hockey League. If that's all you got to do, then that's
not big problems.
No, not big problems at all. That's where the Avalanche are very, very privileged, I think. And Dave Haxtell kind of touched on it in his mini presser towards the beginning of the season. Is they've got all the pieces in place, especially when it comes to special teams, the power play. All he's doing is making sure that the talent that he has on those units is utilized to the fullest effect.
That's all you can do.
That's really all you can do. And it shows. Again, the power play looks so far to be incredible. And there's all maybe you got to do, there's a little bit of tweaking to be done to make sure pucks are going in the back of the net. But otherwise, there's not a lot of problems I think this Avalanche team has to worry about currently.
Yeah, just shoot the puck into the net. And everything else will work itself out, right? I don't think there's anything too major on that front. If you are looking for something that I don't think anything needs fixing, that would be too strong a word, but the decor is going to continue to evolve, right? Who ends up on the left, if anyone, permanently, whether that's Werenski or Burns or Manson or whatever it might be. How do those pairings shake out? Do you start to try and maybe sneak some Taves minutes with someone down there just because you're looking for a little bit more of a reliable defensive pairing? Not that Taves and Makar aren't great, but I just don't have a great answer for the defense right now, as opposed to the forward core. It's like, yeah, you could switch things up or you could leave it and you're perfectly happy with it. Don't
fix what's not broken.
Okay.
I mean, yes, you're still trying to work out some of those kinks on the left side. You're maybe looking for Devon Taves to finally get going a little bit here too, and that's
true.
The one.
Some offense would be nice.
Yeah, offense would be great, especially playing on a pair with Cale Makar. And if shuffling around in a comfortable situation makes sense, I don't see why not. But again, you're not seeing the Avalanche struggle too much.
True.
Down there. Maybe you're catching Werenski positionally a little out of place. I really don't know what's going on positionally sometimes during those games with how they're shuffling things around. But if you can get that going, get that whole situation figured out on the left side, the only thing really you've got to tweak is maybe getting Taves going a little bit. Other than that, I don't see how much moving around there is to do. Yeah,
I don't disagree. I just do think there's a little bit more of a question mark there than there might be in other places. I don't know. It apparently Altitude is saying Brock Nelson might be day to day, but he's definitely wearing a uniform on the ice in their pictures.
Okay.
So I don't know what to take of that one.
Thought I saw him in the Altitude graphic on the TV, kind of
the
eyeing,
tweets
but
the Avs just posted have Nelson in a jersey on the ice.
That's
so not sure about that one.
Yeah, thing to put out
if he is day to day, it's obviously because of the skate cut.
100%.
But
absolutely. But that's a worst case scenario. I hope we're just being gaslit at this point.
Can I ask you guys something?
Yeah.
Are you guys surprised that Wedgwood is starting?
No.
Not really.
Do you think Miner's going to get a look at all?
I mean, the Blackwood timeline remains so mercurial that I assume eventually Miner will get in there.
If it comes down to Blackwood returning by Saturday or by in the next two games, I won't be surprised if Miner doesn't get any games in. That's just kind of how Bednar deploys. It's his history of deploying starting goaltenders. As much as maybe you'd like to see Miner get a game or two in, with the way the matchups or the teams and the matchups upcoming are playing, I wouldn't chance messing with that if Wedgwood's still good to go.
Well, we have got to get to our watch along here, so let's wrap up this pregame show, whether it's Nelson or maybe Bardakov's getting his first game in an Avs jersey. We'll have to see it live. Come join us for the watch along. If that's not your thing, at very least join us post-game, where we will break it all down for you no matter what happens. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show. This not presented by anyone. You know, I was on autopilot. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
We all silly like the mayor.